is not working. Oh, 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 oh. Here is the night journey that Muslims believe in. You ready? Get ready to laugh with me. Okay. Oh man, oh man, oh man. And after this, I'll open up. It is narrated on the authority of Anas bin Malik that the Messenger of Allah said, I was brought al-Burak, who's an animal white and long, larger than JP, a donkey, but smaller than Kelly Powers, a mule. Okay, watch. Okay. So Muhammad said he rode an animal that was larger than JP, that dumbass, smaller than that mule, Kelly Powers, who would place his hoof a distance equal to the range of the virgin. Now watch how stupid this tradition is. I mounted it and came, right, to the temple, Beit Maqdis in Jerusalem. Watch. Then tethered it to the ring used by the prophets. I entered the mosque and prayed 2 rak'ahs in it, and then came out, and Gabriel brought me a vessel of wine and a vessel of milk. I chose the milk, and Gabriel said, you have chosen the natural thing. Now, first huge embarrassment. This is Sahih Muslim. This is supposed to be a sound narration, authentic. Now, and this is also found in Bukhari. Now, you know why this is embarrassment? When Muhammad went to Jerusalem, it says he went to the temple, he went inside the temple, and he came out of the temple, the mosque. Did you know, historically, right? Not as horrible as your mother when she's screaming and the Shia mount her. And when you squeal when your uncle mounts you. Did you know, historically, there was no temple in Jerusalem? There was no mosque. It is a fact. The first temple that Solomon built was destroyed in 586 BC. The second temple that was rebuilt was destroyed in 70 AD, 500 years before Muhammad supposedly was born. What temple did Muhammad visit in Jerusalem? What mosque did he enter where there was no temple? You see how embarrassing this religion is? It says he went to it. He even tied his animal that resembled JP and Kelly. The animal's ass had JP's face, and the animal's face had Kelly's face. He tethered it to a ring used by the prophets, a ring attached to the temple. He went in the mosque and he prayed and came out. There was no temple, dude. There was none. Yeehaw. Now, look how funny it gets. You ready? Look how funny it gets. Then he took me to heaven. Gabriel then asked the gate of heaven to be opened, and he was asked, who was he? He replied, Gabriel. He was again asked, who is with you? He said, Muhammad. It was said, has he been sent for? Gabriel replied, he has indeed been sent for. Now watch. And the door of heaven was opened for us, and lo, we saw Adam. Did you catch it? He's going through 7 heavens. Each heaven he sees someone of importance. So the first heaven is Adam. He welcomed me and prayed for my good. Then we ascended to the second heaven. Gabriel asked the door of heaven to be opened. He was asked, who was he? He answered, Gabriel. And was again asked, who is with you? He replied, Muhammad. It was said, has he been sent for? He replied, he has been indeed sent for. The gate was opened. Now notice who's in the second heaven. Jesus and John the Baptist. Who's in the second heaven? Isa bin Maryam, Jesus son of Mary. Yahya bin Zachariah, because they're cousins from the maternal side. Now, 2 things. Number 1, the Quran says in chapter 3, verse 58, and chapter 4, 158, Isa, Jesus, was taken to be with Allah. Allah said, I'm going to take you to myself. It says Allah took Jesus to himself. Why is Jesus in the second heaven? If he was taken to be with Allah, to dwell with Allah, does that mean Allah's in the second heaven? Not according to Michelle Loftonia, that narcissist egomaniac. Okay, you see the problems? The Quran 355, 4158, let me show you. Says Allah took Jesus to be where he is, to live with him. Jesus has been living with Allah, dwelling with Allah, wherever Allah is, for 2,000 years. Here you go. And you know what Islamic tradition says? According to multiply attested narrations that are deemed sound on the level of the Quran from Muhammad, Jesus was taken there, body and soul. 355. And remember, when Allah said, "Oh Isa, I will take you and raise you to myself." Did he say, "I will take you and raise you to the second heaven"? Is that what he said? No, you stupid bastard. It's the mosque, because he says he entered the mosque. You stupid son of Satan. Go find your mother, because she's on the sacred ground of Aqsa doing muta. It says he entered the temple, came out of the temple, you son of Satan. Pih on your ancestry. When I give the link, come up so I can embarrass you from your sources. And now 4158. But Allah raised them up. Now the Muslim translators put, with his body and soul unto himself. Wait, if Allah took Jesus, body and soul, to himself, is Allah in the second heaven? Now listen, you stupid satanic bastard. I know you're illiterate like your prophet, and I'm going to give you dozens of hadiths. It says he came to the temple, not the grounds, you son of Satan, Ya Ibn Muta. And he tethered the ring. What ring? Of the temple. He entered the mosque, you dumb bastard, unless you're saying he entered the ground like a cockroach. You're so stupid, you make JP look intelligent. Lying Satan. When I give out the link, come up so I can bury you like Jesus buried Muhammad in hell. So that's the second mistake, right? Third mistake. John's Arabic name is not Yahya. Do you know that in the Quran, John is called Yahya? Whereas the Arabic name for John is not Yahya, because his Hebrew name would be Yochanan, Yah is gracious, Greek Ioannis, and in Hebrew it would, the Arabic equivalent of Yochanan is Yohanna. Yohanna. Yeah, that's who they think it is, Milo. They say Gabriel came to Muhammad. So why in the world is he called Yahya? Till this day, nobody knows. Did you know that? I'm not lying. Muslim scholars cannot understand why Muhammad, the illiterate buffoon, called John Yahya. That's not his Arabic name. And also, why is he called Isa? Isa is not the Arabic name for Jesus. The Arabic name for Jesus is Yeshua. You see how embarrassing this religion is? The real miracle is that idiots like Sigmund Ibn Muta think that this joke is from Allah, whom he thinks is God. Now let's continue. This is what the Pope said. You Muslims recognize Jerusalem sacred because this is the place that Muhammad went to heaven. You think Pope John Paul really believed this garbage? Do you think Pope John Paul really thought this garbage was real? He rides an ass that looks like JP and Kelly. He goes to a temple that doesn't exist, and he meets Isa and Yahya, supposedly Jesus and John, in the second heaven, when that's not their names. And you think Pope John Paul took this seriously? All right, so then what happens? They welcomed me and prayed for my good. Then I was taken to third heaven, and Gabriel asked for the opening of the door. He was asked, who are you? He replied, Gabriel. He was again asked, who is with you? He replied, Mohmet. It was said, has he been sent for? He replied, he has indeed been sent for. The gate was opened for us, and I saw Yusuf, who had been given half of world's beauty. He welcomed me, prayed for my well-being. Then he ascended, Yusuf is Joseph, by the way, to the fourth heaven. Gabriel asked for the gate to be opened. It was said, who is he? He replied, Gabriel. It was again said, who is with you? He said, Muhammad. It was said, has he been sent for? He replied, he has indeed been sent for. The gate was opened for us, and lo, Idris was there. Till this day, no one knows who the hell Idris is. Mr. Anna, God bless you, brother. I hope you watch it from the beginning. I went to a Coptic Orthodox church and met two beautiful Coptic priests, Father Peter, and I have to remember the other brother's name. Glorious church. Who the hell is Idris? Do you know? No one knows who the hell Idris is. They have come up with theories. Maybe it's Enoch. Where the hell do you get Idris from Enoch, man? Where the hell? Does Idris sound like Enoch? All right, but whoever he is, he's special. Because in what heaven is he? He's in the fourth heaven. All right. Idris was there. He welcomed me and prayed for my well-being. Allah the Exalted, glorious, has said, we exalted him to the exalted position. Then he ascended with us to the fifth heaven, and Gabriel asked for the gate to be opened. It was said, who is he? He replied, Gabriel. It was again said, who is with thee? He replied, Muhammad. It was said, has he been sent for? He replied, he has indeed been sent for. The gate was opened for us, and then I was with Harun. That's Aaron, supposedly Moses' brother. He welcomed me, prayed for my well-being. Man, I'm getting tired. Ooh. Ooh. Then I was taken to the sixth heaven. Gabriel asked for the door to be opened. Did someone not send them the memo? Could an angel say, hey, yo, you heavens above us, they're kosher, let them in. They have to go through this? You kidding me? All right. Who is he? He replied, Gabriel. It was said, who is with thee? He replied, Muhammad. It was said, has he been sent for? He replied, he has indeed been sent for. The gate was opened for us, and there was with Musa, alayhi salam. Moses is there. He welcomed me and prayed for my well-being. Then I was taken up to the seventh heaven. Finally, dude. Boy, I'm fried. Gabriel asked the gate to be opened. It was said, who is he? He said, Gabriel. It was said, who is with thee? He replied, Muhammad. It was said, has he been sent for? He replied, he has been sent for, dude. The gate was open for us, and there I found Abraham, reclining against the Beit al-Ma'mur, the house there. Now watch how stupid this gets. And there enter into it 70,000 angels every day, never to visit this place again. In other words, every day a batch of 70,000 new angels appear, and they never appear again. That's like in the trillions of trillions and trillions. Then I was taken to Sidrat al-Muntaha. Sidrat al-Muntaha. Ha 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 ha. Now watch how stupid this gets. You guys think this was stupid? Whose leaves were like elephant ears, and its fruit like big earthenware vessels. And it was covered by the command of Allah. It underwent such a change that none amongst the creation has the power to praise its beauty. Now watch. Then Allah revealed to me a revelation, and he made obligatory for me 50 prayers every day and night. You're telling me this religion is not stupid? Whoever wrote this must have been on crack. I want you to catch this. Allah said, go back and tell your people to pray 50 times a day. If they were to pray 50 times a day, they would have no time to sleep, to eat, to drink, and work. The real miracle is that idiots like Sigmund, son of Muta, think that this joke is a religion that's from God. You caught it? Allah said, okay, Muhammad, go down, tell them to pray 50 times a day. But, excuse me, Allah, yeah. When will they have time to sleep, eat, shower, go to the bathroom and work? And when will they have the time to make babies? Do you want them to pray while they're showering? Want them to pray when they're sitting in the toilet? Want them to pray as they're making love? So that when the Muslim man is mounting one of these women, he's taken captive, married woman, or doing mutah, like Sigmund's mother did, as they're doing sex, alhamdulillah, Muhammad Rajim, Bismillah, Rahman Rahim. Now, you want to see who the hero of the story is? This hadith shows Muhammad is not the most merciful, nor is Allah the most merciful. Do you know who's better and more merciful and loving than Muhammad and his God? Moses. Because you know who convinced Allah to reduce the prayers? Moses. So Moses is more merciful than Allah and Muhammad. And you're telling me this religion is not a joke? Here. Then I went down to Moses and he said, what has your Lord enjoined upon your ummah? He said 50 prayers. Look, it's Moses who knocks some common sense in Muhammad's empty skull. What? Return to thy Lord and beg for reduction in the number of prayers, for your community shall not be able to bear this burden. Really? You think? You needed Moses to tell you and your all-knowing God? As I have put to test the children of Israel and tried them, and they found them too weak to bear such heavy burden. He said, I went back to my Lord and said, my Lord, make things lighter for my ummah. The Lord reduced 5 prayers for me, so it went from 50 to 45. I went down to Moses and said, the Lord reduced 5 prayers for me. He said, verily, thy ummah shall not be able to bear this burden. You see who's showing more common sense, more mercy, more love? Moses, not Allah, not Muhammad. Because Muhammad's too stupid to realize, man, that's too much. He said, verily, thy ummah shall not be able to bear this burden. Return to thy Lord and ask him to make things lighter. I then kept going back and forth between my Lord, blessed and exalted, and Moses, till he said, there are 5 prayers every day and night. Thank Moses, he reduced the prayers to 5. So if I have to explain that to you, it's like saying, in Iran, what makes your mother a Shia prostitute? Because she runs a Shia brothel, you stupid bastard. It's not that he's a son of man, it's because he rides the clouds of heaven and is worshipped forever. Then look what Moses says. O Muhammad, each being credited as 10. So if you pray 5 times a day, Allah will credit as 50 prayers. So that makes 50 prayers. He intends to do a good deed and does not do it, will have a good deed recorded for him. And if he does it, it will be recorded from his 10. Whereas he who intends to do an evil deed and does not do it, it will not be recorded for him. And if he does it, only one evil deed will be recorded. I then came down. Now notice, Moses is the one who convinced them, reduce it. So that means Muhammad had to keep going back. 50 is too much, 45. Go back. Okay, 45 is too much, 40. Go back. 40 is too much, 35. Can you imagine how many times you have to go back and forth? And who's telling him? Moses. Why is Moses smarter than Allah and Muhammad, has more common sense than Allah and Muhammad, and more merciful? Because Muhammad was just going to say, pray 50 times a day. You with me there? So then Moses says, that's still too much. I then came down, and when I came back, came to Moses and informed him, he said, go back to thy Lord and ask him to make things lighter. That's too much, man. Upon this, the messenger of Allah remarked, I returned my Lord until I felt ashamed before him. Does anyone seriously think the Pope believes this garbage is true? So we know he doesn't believe this, and we know he doesn't believe Muhammad went to Jerusalem, because he didn't even go there in the body. Supposedly his body was in the bed. Supposedly he went there in a vision. And look at all these mistakes and errors that is embarrassing to Muslims. So why did he say it? To appease them. So now let me ask you a question as I now open up to questions. Now, Jesus talks, you come and get first dibs. Since we know Pope John Paul did not think for a second that Muhammad went to Jerusalem, went to God from Jerusalem, so that means he was simply affirming what they believe by way of showing respect to them, not Muhammad. Don't you believe Jerusalem is a sacred place? After all, you agree the city of David, right? And this place where Jesus died and rose again, you reject that, but you do believe Jesus walked the sands of Jerusalem. And this is a place where Muhammad went to God, right? So he's simply stating what they believe in order to show them respect and remove any unnecessary obstacle. But he knows that's a joke. Then on what grounds can Michelle Laftonia, anyone else, tell me that when the catechism and when the Pope says Muslims, Jews, and Christians profess the God of Abraham and worship the God of Abraham, and the Quran identifies God, the God of Abraham, that means that he actually believes it, as opposed to him simply meeting them where they're at to appease them, to remove any unnecessary obstacle. Where am I wrong? Where am I wrong? That's why I said Michel Laftouni is so stupid. He didn't see by quoting this, he proved my point. All right, Jesus talks. You get first dibs. Come on up. Guys, we'll do about 40 minutes Q&A, okay? I'm still awake. Lord, increase our numbers for your glory. Where am I wrong, guys? Yep. By the way, I forgot to mention, thank you at the beginning. Where do you think Muhammad plagiarized the story of Moses telling Muhammad, go back, reduce the prayers? 50, 45, 40. The story of Jesus and Abraham in Genesis 18, verses 1 to 33. Isn't that what Abraham did? If you read Genesis 18, 22, 33, didn't Abraham say, if you find 50 righteous, notice 50 righteous in Sodom, will you then destroy them? He goes, I'll save them for the sake of 50. And he brought it down until they reached 10. So Muhammad is the ear. Muhammad is the plagiarist.